All right, hello everyone. Today I am here on site in New York City at NASDAQ with Allan Schoenberg, who is the Vice President of Corporate Communications for NASDAQ. We have hijacked a studio space.
Yes, we have. It's okay.
They haven't kicked us out yet.
No, not yet.
And Allan is going to answer a few questions for me about storytelling and the work that he does at NASDAQ. So let's jump in.
Sure.
So Allan, you have an incredible role at NASDAQ. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do and what some of the things that you love about your job?
First of all, it's always great to see you. So
yes, it's great to see you too.
Together. So as the head of corporate communications, I oversee the team here that executes on external relations, so media relations, social media, and internal relations, so all of our employee communications. So tying all the things that we do and telling that story internally to employees, why it matters, what our vision is, the role they play in it is extremely important, as well as telling that story externally to our clients, to influencers, investors, regulators, all of our stakeholders also plays an important role in what we do here. So every day it is a process of re-engineering and reimagining the things that we're doing and how that plays into our vision. And we take the role internally with our employees just as seriously as we do externally with our audiences.
That is so fantastic to hear, and I think it's something people might take for granted and not realize, because they think about opening bell ceremonies and companies coming for their IPOs, and they don't get to see all the things that go on behind the scenes.
Correct.
Here as well, right?
Yes, yeah, and there's an enormous amount of activity that happens behind the scenes. You mentioned an IPO, and we put as much effort into as possible as we can for all of our clients that have an IPO here, and everybody sees the great visuals that we do, right? They see the bell ceremony, they see the media interviews on shows like Squawk Box for CNBC, but they don't see the amount of work that gets done behind the scenes to make all that happen, as well as all the work that gets done to help companies tell that story to their employees, because it's such an important day, as you remember from your Dunkin' Donuts IPO.
Yes, I think I always say this, the Dunkin' IPO and getting to be part of that and telling our story on that day is one of the proudest moments of my career. And I think it's something people don't necessarily realize, but there's so much work that goes into planning and preparing for that. And I would love to ask you, so if you're a company that's kind of on the IPO path, you're planning for your IPO, what advice do you have for them? I mean, I know your team works hand in hand kind of with your clients, but you guys do a huge amount of work with them, but what advice can you share around that?
We do become an extension of the team, and I tell that to every IPO client before they do IPO. It's think of us as part of your team. Like, we're here to help you, provide counsel, advice, do the things you need to do, help you set things up. But it goes back to all the things you've been talking about. It's a story. IPO day is a story and telling how the company's journey to becoming a public company, and then how what they're gonna do after they become public. So there is this narrative that they want to tell all of their stakeholders, again, internal employees, potential employees, as well as potential investors. So storytelling is absolutely critical and key, whether it's around a vision, a product, how they're changing the world, the things they're doing really becomes important.
That's incredible advice and very, very valuable, especially to really spend some time and invest in that strategy and planning leading into that as well. So I know as well, so stepping aside from NASDAQ for a moment, you've been in the financial services world for a lot of your career. And I would love to learn if you have any tips for financial services companies about how they can tell great stories, because I hear a lot like, oh, I'm not in the most exciting industry, or I have so much kind of regulatory kind of concerns or guardrails. But I still think companies in that space can tell great stories. What advice would you have to share for them?
I have a mantra professionally of there's economics in everything. My undergrad degree is in economics, so I do always feel like there's an economic story in everything you do as a company and a brand, and particularly in the B2B space, which is where I sit. So the things that you do, whether it's a product, a service, a solution, earnings, like these things matter to the broader economy. And if you can put that kind of hat on and that lens and think about like the things you're doing and how they impact people, I think that changes your mindset in the way that you tell stories.
That's fantastic. I love that there's economics in everything. Well, you heard it here first. Thank you so much, Allan, for being here today.
Good to see you again.
And please stay tuned to my channel for more great interviews like this.